Welcome to the first ever episode of the Roll With Us podcast. I am your host, Mikko.
And I'm your co-host, Maheer.
Now, you might be wondering, why are we making a podcast when we're in robotics during the build season? To answer that, it's because we're much more than nerds that can build robots.
And our team, FRC Team 818, is a part of FIRST. And what FIRST is, it stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. What FIRST does is it helps students engage with engineering or robotics or just things that could help them in their career in general. Because it's not just, like wrench, steel, wood, hammer, it's more than that because we have programming, we have business, we have logistics, we have finance. There's so much more to it than just hammer, wood, steel, wrench. FIRST also strives for students to engage with STEAM. And what STEAM is, it is science, technology, engineering, math, and art.
That's STEM.
Same thing. Our team has 3 different sub-teams: logistics, build, and programming. And all of them engage with STEAM in their own unique, different way. Like build their wood, hammer, steel, wrench. But they also have arts to it because they powder coat. They try and make the robot look as appealing as possible. And our pizzazz. Our programming sub-team, there's science and technology, which is kind of a given. But you'd be surprised as to how much math is actually involved to program. There's tons of geometry in it. And logistics, we're mainly art, we do art stuff, we make animations, but there's also math and finance and business sides to it that you wouldn't really notice at surface level.
And with that, the whole point of this podcast is to show that we are clearly more than all that.
There's more to us than just what you made, than just the stereotypes.
We are more than just an actual a representation of STEAM. We are more we are personalities. We are people, and we like to show that by showcasing our guests, which I would like to transition to our captains of our team, who actually happen to all be women of STEM.
Slay.
And following what Maheer said, we are pleased to announce one of our captains as one of our guests today.
Welcome, Kira. Woo! That's too much.
What? Tell me a little about yourself.
My name is Kira. This is my 3rd year on the team. I'm a senior in high school.
Soon to be super senior.
Soon to be super senior because I'm in an early college program, so they do in fact not let me have my diploma. So officially a super senior, technically.
Kira, what's it like being captain?
Being captain, it's very stressful because there's a lot of people and there's a lot of things going on at once that you have to keep track of, especially with a lot of stuff we've added this year.
How did you transition from being just a regular member of logistics or wherever your position was into where you are now as a captain and overseeing pretty much our team in both 9, 5, 5, 8?
Yeah, the transition really was just there was a bigger range of people because I wouldn't say heading, but I was in charge of some stuff on logistics where I would be the person in charge of it.
Yeah.
So the difference between that was just that now I was in charge of a larger group of people and there was just more moving parts. And so I was organizing more things that wasn't really similar to what I was doing before, but on a larger scale, but also just with new groups of people that maybe I hadn't known as much or was more familiar with, so I had to get to know those people too. And so it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you previously mentioned, you were part of logistics, right?
Yeah.
Following that, since now you're captain, you oversee all the sub-teams basically. How much different would that is that?
What's the perspective change?
Yeah.
Perspective change? Well, I guess the difference before is that I guess now I'm just more knowledgeable on things that are happening on the other 2 sub-teams earlier in the year than I usually would be because, last year I really didn't know any specifics about, at least detailed specifics about what was going on with the robot and what specific parts of the game we were going for and until the week we competed. But now I have more conversation with the people in those sub-teams, so I'm more aware of what they're doing, and we have weekly updates with the leadership team with each other, so I know everything that's really going on in the sub-team and with the people and stuff.
What got you into robotics?
I was on the FTC team, that runs out of the same school, the Armadillo Pups, when I was in 8th grade, and I joined because my friend Diane, who's also on 818, was on, and she had been on it since her 6th grade year, and she really wanted someone, like one of her friends, to join, and so I did, because I'm just such a good friend, and I really liked the experience, even though it was mostly me just writing stuff in a corner, but I really liked the experience and the competition and stuff, and so I decided to join my sophomore year, which was the first year in person after COVID, so it was my first chance I got.
To the people watching, would you recommend them to like join in the first, like do whether it's FTC or FRC?
I would really recommend even if you don't really think you're interested in robotics, I would recommend anyone of any grade level to join a first team if they have one in their district, just because you might find that you actually are interested in something like mechanical design. I know there was someone who joined this year who didn't really think they would be interested in that, and they joined the logistics sub-team, but then after the preseason and the prototyping, they found that they were really interested in mechanical design, and so they switched over to the build team. Or you might just get skills that will help you later in life, just like general people skills or skills with programs and stuff. But I think it's just like really good for overall development and growth into like who you are as a person.
Thank you for being on our podcast.
Thank you for inviting me to come to the podcast.
Did you have fun?
I had a time. It was nice. It was just fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank God. And following that, we have our second captain, Sneha.
Hi, Sneha.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, guys. I'm Sneha. I'm a senior at Warren Mott, and it's my 3rd year on the team.
What inspired you to be in robotics in the first place?
So I want to be a mechanical engineer, which is the biggest reason I joined robotics, because I wanted to know more about my field and see how robots are made, because that gives me an experience before I go into college about what it's like to build things. So that was my main reason.
So, you're our captain, obviously. What was the transition like going from, whatever your position was in mechanical to being captain of our team?
So my first year, I joined as a member. I was a part of pit crew. And then my second year, I was the mechanical sub-team lead. And then also part of pit crew. And this year, I'm the captain. I would say the change between last year and this year or the years previously, was the fact that I was very mechanical focused. So again, last year I was the sub-team lead for mechanical. So I was very mechanical focused, whereas this year I'm more of the captain. So I have to be focused on all the sub-teams and just kind of focusing on everybody, not just mechanical.
So, you said you've been on a team for a couple years now. Mm-hmm. From the moment you started to where you are now, how much have you developed both professionally and as a person?
A lot. Honestly, a lot. So when I first joined the team, I didn't know anything. So even though I'm the captain now, I didn't know anything about robotics when I joined. I didn't know how to use tools. I didn't know anything. And I was scared, okay, I don't really know anything. I don't think I'll be able to make an impact on the team my first year. But honestly, just being here every day, knowing what I want to do really got me through, I don't know anything, and then started learning. And now I'm confident enough to, even if I don't know something, I can figure things out, My problem-solving skills have improved drastically from the point where it's I don't know what to do to okay, I can figure things out. I can take matters into my own hand now, not just for myself, but I know how to guide people. I've taught rookies a lot last year and this year, so I feel way more confident in myself and my skills. I know how to use multiple tools and machines, which, again, I can help a lot of people. And professional-wise, as the captain, it has given me the skills to kind of be professional in other settings as well. So I'm the president of other clubs, and robotics has definitely been my way of gaining that confidence to be the president of other clubs and kind of maintain everything. Likeliness, time management also, being here for this long, and then, I come here right after school. So school, clubs, robotics, and then I go home and do homework, and that really, time management skills, starting my sophomore year. Robotics has been you need to not be lazy or not be wasting your time. So, yeah.
Would you recommend, joining an FTC or FRC team?
100%. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love it. I'm here every single day when I can. And honestly, even if you're not going into engineering, there's logistics, obviously, and there's so much you can do on the team. You will find a spot here, 100%. So, yeah.
Thanks for being on our podcast for the very first episode. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And finally, we have reached, last but not least, our third captain, Zakira.
Woo!
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
It's been a long day.
You're captain.
Crazy.
What's it like being captain? Like,
Being captain, for me, it's so exhilarating. I get to have more responsibility with doing something that I love. And like, while it is a lot, having such a huge expectation on my shoulders of like managing a huge team and delegating tasks while also working on my own tasks to further our team, it's so accomplishing because it just means I'm doing more within the team and like just being here so much and doing so much more than like I could have ever imagined. It makes me so happy.
Well, Maheer forgot a question,
Oh.
but it's basically, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh,
And, like,
okay.
your
So about myself, I am currently a senior. Personality-wise, I'm very extroverted. I try to make lots of friends. I try to get to know names. I like to draw in my free time. I'm currently reading the Percy Jackson series. I finished the actual TV show series, so now I have to catch up on the book series.
You're so good.
I know, it's amazing. I draw digitally, hoping to start up commission soon. I'm done with senior, or I want to be done with senior year, so yeah.
Same.
what was it like, like transitioning from whatever your position and your sub team to becoming captain?
That period of transition was really interesting because I didn't become a sub team lead, which is kind of like, which is just having your own sub team to lead. I went immediately from like a member to a captain. So my roles expanded from doing like a lot of things in the off season, and preseason, into kind of taking like I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but it's like taking a huge general role instead of working on specific things during a specific time. Now I have to worry about everything a lot of the time. So over the summer I worked on with the mentorship team and the leadership team on building our new leadership team and how our building our new team system and how that's going to go and how we're delegating tasks and refining roles and making sure that everyone is able to do things efficiently. That itself took a lot of time to just do before the preseason could even start. And once it does, we're going up to people and making sure we're getting the people that we need for robotics so that we're able to do things efficiently.
What got you into robotics?
Oh, this is so interesting. So freshman year, it was virtual year, pandemic year. That freshman year was not real. But sophomore year, I remember people would talk about robotics, and I did not want to be here. I was originally not going to join, because I'm a very creative kid. I'm planning to go to in college, I'm planning to go into the arts and humanities. So when you think of robotics, you're generally not thinking of arts or creative. You're thinking STEM, engineering, building a robot, obviously. But Nathan, a former captain, had come up to me and was like, you know what? Hey, give it a day. Just try us out. Come to our open house. See what we're about. See why we're trying to recruit people. And I did, because during sophomore year, one of the philosophies that I wanted to go by was to not regret anything. So I didn't want to regret not doing something. I went to the open house with a couple of friends, and what intrigued me was the fact that I could use my creative skills to use, and actually help drive the team to success. So I joined the team, and one of my first project on the team actually was creating an animation for the Digital Animation Award. And that's what got me started in robotics, and that's what made me fall in love with it. And I was able to create and develop new skills and tasks on robotics where like these new skills I get to present in front of people and like elementary students and tell them how great robotics is, and I get to work on my writing skills. I get to talk to judges. I get to go to competitions and organize, delegate tasks, etc., etc. Like just all of that comes with robotics, and it's crazy to think that like I came to robotics thinking I wouldn't be here in the first place.
Yeah. And with that, Zakira is a prime example that we are more than just nerds that can build robots. Because she's very artistic.
Yeah.
What did you do differently as like what have you done differently this year as captain that from like last year's captains?
Basically, what makes you unique as a captain? Like, what is something that other captains haven't done before that you're doing right now?
A lot of my inspiration as a captain actually comes from last year's captains because they took a very friendly and just natural approach when it comes to leading us. And I can't really say that like I'm much different from them. I'm sure other people can say otherwise, but I think of myself as similar to them because a lot of my inspiration comes from them. The way that Nathan, Imtiaz, and Noah had led the team last year, they were very open. They got to know each of us and our personalities individually. And the way that they led the team and had updated us on everything and had tried their best. And you could tell that, you know, they had some struggles every now and then, but they were very just kind of open to me as a person in general. And I want to be that for my members and our team. I want to be there for my team or for our team. And I just like, you know, want to be open and making sure we're getting things done and being efficient. So yeah.
Clearly, you have like a lot to say about like robotics and like the whole experience itself. And like with that, like, would you like actually recommend like a freshman or like someone in 8th grade to like actually join our team, or like just like the robotics experience in general?
Absolutely. If you have an FRC team in your community, I completely recommend it. Just to get yourselves out there. Just try it. Like that's my only thing. And then decide if you like it or not. Because that's literally what got me into robotics. I didn't know if I really thought I was gonna hate it, and then all you have to do is try it. That's literally, I completely recommend it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And with that, we are all out of questions to ask you. So thank you for coming onto our podcast.
Of
so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Of course.
Thank you.